Hello. Um, it's been 2 weeks. Let me look. Let me see. Um, I think 2 weeks. Oh no. 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks since my last stream. And here's what's really funny about how my streams have gone. So I streamed the 100 Day Project day 1. I streamed the 100 Day Project day 5, and I streamed the 100 Day Project day 10, and now we're streaming day 30. So apparently, I only stream on days that end in like 5 and 0. One doesn't count because it's like the first one. You can't stream on 0. Um, but isn't that a funny little thing that happens? Um, but yeah, I'm here. I am alive. I did some traveling. Um, I went to New York again, which was really great. I went with my mom for spring break. We did a lot. We did like the 9/11 Museum, the Met, the Museum of Natural History. I saw Moulin Rouge on Broadway, which was just amazing. The movie's better for sure, but it was still really cool to get to see like the musical of it. And I'm not really one for musical theater, but I think it's because I've basically really only ever seen like amateur theater. And so there's a big difference when you see like local theater compared to like New York City Broadway. Big difference there. So I think that's why I liked that. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. So we spent 5 days in New York, which was great. But other than that, like it's just been so busy. Like just every day something crazy. I come home and I draw a bird and or do something else, and it just I have not had the time to stream. But I figured I'd come on today, just for a little bit to work on today's bird. Um, which if you're playing my Guess the Bird game, get your guesses in now, before you put your guess into Instagram, because you might get a sneaky little hint that puts you ahead of the curve of other people. I've just been playing with my kneaded eraser over here. Um, but yeah, today was a weird day. So today I presented a workshop on drawing birds with colored pencil with John Muir Laws, and it did not go how I wanted it to go, unfortunately, because so it's like held on Zoom, and 3 times Zoom on my end crashed and just completely kicked me out of, not even just out of the meeting, but just out of the entire program. Like the program would just close. And I don't know why. It's never happened to me before. And I'm kind of wondering, like, I was using OBS for it to have like this overlay on it. And I'm kind of wondering if like it just like overpowered Zoom or something and it just kept kicking me out. I don't know, but like other people use OBS for Zoom, so I'm not sure why it wasn't working for me. Very frustrating. But like it was fine. It wasn't that huge of a deal. But like I've spent the last like 3 months prepping for it, and it's still like it came down to it and I was like, I don't know what I want to say or do in this presentation. And I was so nervous during it. Um, so I got some good feedback on it, which is nice, but I still like I'm just like still like cringing over what it was because it wasn't like what I wanted it to be. I don't know, I think I just wanted it to kind of look more like I had my shit together than I actually did. because I don't like being perceived as though I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, who does? I don't know. It's just the whole time I kind of felt like, ugh, like I don't know what I'm doing, or I look like an idiot, and I'm not explaining myself well. I'm also like a nervous talker. But it's done, and I can move on with my life now and not be so super worried about it. And now I have, well, actually, I mean, that part's done, but I'm doing a different workshop with a different group next month. Or I might not. I'm not really sure. But I'm doing like a bird drawing basics, which is a much more teachable subject than what I did today, which was just like showing off my color pencil process. But I'm doing a bird drawing basics class next month, and no one's registered for it yet. And just based on like how I feel after today, I'm like kind of fine if no one registers for it and I don't have to do it. Um, I would be perfectly okay with that, to not have to do another lecture. Hey Nelia, what's up? You're getting a sneak peek at today. Don't tell anybody. I'm not going to say what it is though. Clearly a Dracula parrot. I will neither confirm nor deny. This camera is kind of like getting in my face a little, so I'm gonna, apologies for jiggling the camera a little bit while I try and move it out of my way. Okay, that's so much better. I can actually like get in close now. Yeah, so that was whatever today. I like took today off because the workshop was at 1 and I'd normally be at work at then. So I got to like sleep in a little bit today, which was nice. But I basically spent like the whole morning getting ready for the workshop. Jordan stream. I know. Hi, Morgan. I know it's like, it's become a rare thing because I've just been so freaking busy lately. That, and I've been having weird feelings about Twitch recently. I don't know. I've just been feeling weird about it. Yeah, that's all I'll say. But how are y'all doing today? I hope you had a lovely Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Woo. Thank goodness. I didn't tell my students that. I only told like one group of my students that I was taking off today. And apparently some of them misinterpreted my words. I told them I was teaching a class today, and some of them interpreted that as I was being interviewed today. So my friend had a question. My friend at work had a question for me, and she was like asking her class, like, "Where's Miss Sylvia?" And they were like, "Oh, she has an interview today." And she's like, what?" I am constantly doing things. It is like a never-ending list of things, and I don't drink coffee, and that's like such a problem because I do super run out of energy, and I am so tired at the end of the day, and I do not get nearly enough sleep. And hi, Nona. I did not have an interview. No, I did not have an interview. I taught an online workshop today So I did a demonstration of how I draw birds with colored pencil today to a group of strangers online on Zoom. And it was really nerve-wracking, and my Zoom crashed like 3 times during the presentation, which was really embarrassing and not very cool. Um, did not love that. Um, but again, I got some positive feedback from it aside from that. But I was really nervous. This was like my first time ever doing anything like that. So I really didn't know like what to do. This bird's eye is getting a little too human-like, and it's kind of throwing me off. Yeah, it was super random. Like everything was fine on their end. It was 100% on my end. Like my hand wouldn't even be touching the mouse or keyboard or anything, and the program would just close. And I'm kind of, it's never happened to me before, but I'm kind of wondering if it has anything to do with the fact that I was like using OBS for it, because I had an overlay on my Zoom camera. That's the only thing I can think of that I have like done differently with my Zoom meetings before. Um, so I don't know. It's whatever. But I don't know if my internet was crashing or if it was that, because y'all know I have internet problems. But yeah, I guess I should catch up on what's been going on for the last 3 weeks of my life. Last week I went to New York. I went to a bunch of museums. I saw a Broadway show. And I saw some subway rats. Yep, that's that. Oh, do I have one near me? I can throw this off. Is it this one? Yeah. Okay, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, you might not have seen this, but I'm in a magazine. So this is a local magazine that's published monthly and distributed within my area. So this month's issue was all about nature and conservation and stuff like that. So I was interviewed for this back in December. Yeah, so they published my interview and put a bunch of my pictures in it. And I just talk about, like why I like drawing birds and how I got into drawing birds, and there's me. So that was a really cool experience, and I've gotten like a lot of really nice comments from people about it. People emailing me and calling me and texting me and stuff about it, which is really exciting. A woman who is vacationing in my area read the article and then ordered a drawing from me the other day, which was really cool. She actually bought this one. She was saying that like a Carolina wren is like her favorite bird. And I talk about how I'm a teacher in this article. And she was like, my daughter's a teacher, and so we just really like connected with your article, and so it was really sweet that she bought that from me. But it's really exciting. I've done like a casual like online blog interview before. But it's kind of one of those where it's like it just kind of makes its way through the chain community of like in your area. Which like isn't to say it was bad, but it's just like, I don't know, it's not super special, but this is definitely special to like be in print and passed around in my area. So that's really cool. And so I have like a few, like I'm gonna get one of them framed, and then one of them is just gonna like stay the pristine magazine that it is. So that happened. Let me think other things to catch you up on what's happening in the world of Jordan. Thought the interviewer was named Fisher Potter. What? Where did you? What did you even see that says that? I know that I what's funny about this article. Oh, the law firm. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I was gonna point out. So, all right. So the article is like front and back. So like, it would be cool if it was like a 2-page spread like that. Obviously it's not. And I'm like, well, how come the second page I get is about a simple solution for your complex divorce? So I'm like, and it also is like the most plain and boring ad. Like I could have had like a really nice, like exciting to look at ad, but no, I get a simple solution for your complex divorce. Oh well. I can't be mad about it. The article was free. So yeah, there's that. I'm going to Universal Studios next week. Well, Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios grad bash. So we're taking a bunch of high school seniors up there, and we'll be there from like 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. riding roller coasters and stuff. Pumped for that. Trying to think what else is happening. You live your life and you come home with all these daily stories, but when you try to reflect back on 3 weeks worth of time, I mean, even like, what are some things that happened in New York that are funny? I don't even remember. Got yelled at by a drag queen, which was not how I wanted the night to go. My night was very enjoyable up until that moment. So that kind of sucked. And it was just like a really dumb misunderstanding because of Florida college rivalry. You had a drag queen offer you services? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's a no from me. Yeah, I took my mom to a drag dinner as a surprise for our last night in New York. And it was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it a lot. Until I tried to like start a conversation with one of them.
Listen.
And welcome in, Quinn Lucas. Did I say that right? Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. But I was just like trying to like have a conversation with one of them. I brought up something about their performance, and I guess I like misinterpreted or like just didn't know that the song that she danced to was like Beyonce, and because I'm not a Beyonce fan, and that's like a cardinal sin to not know and love Beyonce. So my bad. Because part of the song, to give you some context, so part of the song, no, the song she performed to was Beyonce's Homecoming. And like the opening part of the song is this like marching band drumline thing. And it's a song that the school I work for, our band performs at football games. And I thought that was really funny. And so I texted my friend who's the band director, I was like, oh my gosh, like they just opened up their set with this song and it said that they're from the South, one, like whatever. I didn't know that this part of the song was actually part of the song. I thought it was just like added on to her set. And so he was like, oh, that's cool. Like I got it from FSU because like high school bands don't have like their own original songs. They get all their songs from like other schools. So at the end, I was like, hey, did you go to FSU? And she's like, no, I went to UCF. Why? And I was like, oh, well, like the beginning of the song, that drumline song, like they play that at FSU. And then she flipped and was like really mad that I didn't know that it was a Beyonce song. Um, and then was like, I'm sick and tired of FSU claiming all this stuff, da 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 da, da, because like all these Floridas, any state school, they all hate each other. Um, and I was just like, hey, like, ooh, I didn't like I went to UF. I don't know about any of this. And it was just really, really awkward and uncomfortable. And then she came back around later because she was like, I don't like people claiming Beyonce stuff, da da da, which like it's not original to Beyonce if these marching bands are playing it. Um, and then she came back around later to find me to tell me that it was also like in the in part of a song that's from like the Jacksons. And I was like, okay. It was just really weird. And I don't handle unexpected confrontation well. And so I was like just really taken aback by it. And I don't know, I like couldn't sleep that night because I was just like so I just kept replaying the moment in my mind and I was like literally like what did I do wrong? She just came on really strong. I was like, whoa. So that was weird. But one of the other performers, her set was to do Sparkling Diamonds from the Moulin Rouge musical, which I had just seen 2 nights before, and also Moulin Rouge is my favorite movie. So after my conversation with the Beyonce, marching band drag queen, I went and talked to her and I was like, hey, I really loved your performance. I just saw Moulin Rouge. Sorry, oh my gosh. It's like, I just saw Moulin Rouge. It was really fantastic. And she was like so nice. She was like, oh my gosh, I haven't gotten to see it yet. How was it? And I was like, it was good, but the movie was better. And she was like, that's what I figured. And we're like, we can't top Moulin, or we can't top Ewan McGregor. So that was at least really nice. She was very friendly. But I'm still just like so about the other conversation. It was just really unnecessary, really, to like react so intensely, and I don't know. I have only just started this bird and I already hate it. Today's just been a weird day. It's like not a good bird drawing day for me, apparently. But I have to draw a bird today because I have to draw a bird every day. So this is day 30. Last time I did the 100-day challenge, I only made it to day 20. So, pretty freaking proud of myself. Nearly a third of the way through. And it hasn't been so terrible. There's only been like a couple of days where I'm like, oh, I have to draw my bird. And then I'm like, do you think I could skip a night? But I don't. I still do it. Um, but I definitely still like, I do have those intrusive thoughts where I want to like not do it. What's your? Oh, you made your guess already. All right, let me look at it. Hmm. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm in this friend group and they have like going on. I have outdone myself. Well done, me. It's all up from here. And I've sold a few of them. I've sold six so far. Have I added to my life list recently? Ooh, that's a great question. All right, I have to think. Um, Now to be clear, I only started birding in October. I would say October. So I've been birding for 6 months. So like my life list had nothing on it 6 months ago. So some things that people will be like, oh, pff, are like, that's like I'm just, ticking them off of my list. As I work my way down things. Um, on my most recent trip, no. Um, but there's multiple things I'll talk about. So one, I I work, I do office administrative work for my Audubon chapter. You know this, I've talked about this. So I was there, and sometimes when I'm done doing my work, I'll do a walk around our property that our office is on, which is also a 4.5 acre nature preserve. So I was going to do a walk this one evening, anyways, and I noticed like all these people started showing up, and I'm like, why are people here? This is unusual. And I discovered that our president had added a new like evening walk around the property to our events list, and I didn't know that. And I was like, oh, cool. So I like kind of walked around with them. So a lot of these people that were on this little walking tour, they got this. They were all like pretty much new birders, or like there was one experienced birder, but she's not from the area, so she got to see new to her birds. Um, but we have an osprey nest. And so we got to see both of them. Like one came in with a fish and then one and then left. And then the other one came out and then landed in the tree right above us. And so we like got to see it like really close, and that was really cool to see it up close. We also have the swallow-tailed kites nesting on our preserve, so we've been watching them fly around, and they've been like grabbing Spanish moss out of this one tree to take it to their nest. And so it's been really cool to see them like come down and like swoop in and take a branch or something, which has been really fun. And actually, the other day, I watched a fish crow attacking a swallow-tailed kite. I guess neighboring territories, but like the kites just fly so effortlessly through the sky. Like they never have to like flap their wings. They're just so graceful, and the crow's like fighting for its life, chasing this kite. And like at moments it was like a dog fight out there. It was just like, it would like swoop in and try to like get at the kite, and the kite would swerve away in like just the right amount of time. So that was cool to see. But on a moderately recent tour, we got to see, this was like 2 months ago, maybe a month or two ago. I got to see some white pelicans, which was really neat to see because they have like a really weird migratory path. Um, so that was cool. They're so big. Um, what else? Um, don't think I really, because I don't really have the time to go out. I am going on Sunday to an area where there is apparently an eagle's nest, and there are supposedly some eaglets present. So I've been invited to go along with a photographer to check that out on Sunday, which should be pretty cool. Um, but I think that's really it as of like fairly recently what I've seen. I want some friends and I to go to this state park where they have Florida scrub jays so that we can all go and look at those. I think. Yeah, I think I got everything that I've seen rather recently. But next month, I'm hoping to see some new things. I'm going to Naples, which is on the other side of my state, um, to an Audubon sanctuary, and so they have like this boardwalk trail. It's a like a swamp boardwalk trail, and it's part of like a field trip that my Audubon chapter is doing. So every year we do like an annual like outing trip, which is like optional. We have like 14 people going, um, and so I like at very like spur of the moment was like, ah, sure, I'll go. So I found like a private room Airbnb because it was the cheapest thing I could find. And was like, yeah, I'll go. So um, I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm hoping to maybe see some new things there. I need to look in. We could maybe do that now. If I pull up eBird and see kind of like what's there. Um, okay. All right. So here's what's been observed. Okay, so it's just gonna blast out the camera, apparently. Um, Something that, let's see, things, so far it's all things that I have seen. Okay, so someone logged an American bittern. I would love to see one of those. I haven't. I think I have heard one, but I haven't seen it. And I think that they are the coolest birds, and I'm going to be doing an illustration of one very soon. Um, I haven't seen a little blue heron, so that would be cool. I have seen a tricolored heron. I have seen a green heron. I have not seen a black crowned night heron or a yellow crowned night heron, so that'd be cool. Um, a northern harrier I haven't seen. Oh, I did. I saw a yellow-bellied sapsucker for the first time a few weeks ago. I totally forgot that. I took my students on a trip to the art museum and we were outside in the sculpture garden eating lunch and I was walking around and I didn't have my binoculars with me, but I was looking and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a yellow-bellied sapsucker." So I was really excited to see that. It was my first time seeing one of those. Um, I'd like to see a flicker. I haven't seen a flicker. Um, also, there's several different vireos. Northern rough-winged swallow, tree swallow, ruby-crowned kinglet, brown-headed nuthatch. That'd be cool to see. Swamp sparrow, ovenbird, worm-eating warbler, water thrush. Ooh, a magnolia warbler. Ooh, a summer tanager. I'd like to see that. And an indigo bunting. I'd like to see that. It was seen 15 hours ago. Okay, so there's definitely um some birds on here that I haven't seen that would be really cool to see. And what's really cool about this trip is also going on this trip is this like husband and wife team. And um the husband, he is like an ornithologist by trade, but they're both like master expert birders, and they are the nicest freaking people I've ever met. So my first birding outing, this her name's Lorraine. She led it. Her husband was supposed to come, but he wasn't feeling well. But she led it, and she literally starts off the tour by being like, my husband's a much better birder than I am. You know, you'd have a much better time out here with him. He'd be able to identify all this stuff. And meanwhile, she's like, oh, here's that, and there's that, and here's this, and that, and like, she didn't miss a beat. And I was like, Lorraine, I think you need to stop saying you're not a good birder because you're absolutely killing the game right now. But she's so sweet. I love talking to her. So she's going on the tour, so I'm gonna try and like stand next to her a lot during it to be like, hey, what do you hear and what do you see? I'm trying to fill out that life list. So all those little things. So if so, maybe her or her husband will be able to tell the difference between a worm-eating warbler and a chipping sparrow. So um, but I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna take the day off from school, drive up. I've never been to Naples, so should be fun. I think right now, at like the top of the list of things that I want to see is a northern flicker. I really want to see one. Um, yeah, I think that's what I want to see. What I will say for my Guess the Bird game is that so far, 2 people are correct. Do with that information what you will. Yeah, at one point during my workshop today, um, I said something. I don't remember what I said, but it started off as I was like, oh, here's a tip. And then I said it, and then I was like, that's actually not a tip at all. I was like, that is the most useless information I've said all day. Like, I could have not said it and been fine. I don't remember what it was. I'll go back when I'm debating whether or not to go back and watch the recording when it's posted on YouTube. Um, just because I feel like I'm probably gonna just like cringe the whole time. I mean, I'm even the kind of person that's like during the workshop, I like knew I was like cringing. Like I would say something and I'd be like, like I would turn to Sharpen and I'd be like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I just literally didn't know how to prepare for it today. It was bad. And here I am potentially like offering to teach local classes on color pencil. God, what am I thinking? Someone did. I met with them. They asked me if I would be interested in teaching colored pencil classes, and I went to the studio and checked it out and met with the director, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And things got busy. I was supposed to start classes in April, but I like that's not gonna happen. Um, so I was like, let's wait till June when school is out and things aren't as crazy. But I was kind of thinking of so like it would be one class a week on like Mondays. And I was gonna set it up like first Monday of the month is like colored pencil basics, and then the second Wednesday of the month is focusing on birds, and then the third went Monday. Do I keep saying Wednesday? Monday. Like so like first Monday color pencil beginning, second Monday birds, third Monday pets, fourth Monday humans. And then like the cycle repeats each month. And if there's ever like a fifth Monday, it would be like an open studio thing. Um, that's what I'm thinking about doing, but I don't know. After today, I mean, maybe that would be good. It would give me some like practical teaching. I say as an actual teacher, but I don't actively teach colored pencil process as it stands right now. None of my classes really require that. Like I did last year, but it's different. It's different when they're kids. Oh, and if anyone here in the chat is a subscriber, note that there has been a change up in emotes. And there probably will be another change up in emotes because now I'm not sure how I feel about it. But I retired the Maisie emotes. Sorry, honey, but you just don't play as big a role on this channel and people wouldn't get it. I know. I know it's rough. Um so I made some bird emotes and I know. I kind of don't love them. Um so I guess they're just kind of placeholders until I can make something else. I don't know. Hi, ouch, your nails are so sharp. So we're in New York. My mom, who I went with, is from New York. She's born in Brooklyn, but she moved away when she was like 6 and has only been back to the city a couple of times since then. Her last time being like, hello? What the hell? Jesus Christ. Maisie, you're stepping on my drawing. Maisie, oh my god. She has never done that before. What? Hey, come on, get down. She has never. She jumped from the futon onto my shoulder. Um, what? Hi, sunflower honey. That was Maisie. I think she was mad that I took her emotes away and told her that she doesn't play a big role on the channel, and then decided to make her appearance. So, so I guess she doesn't appreciate that. It scared me. I didn't expect that. She's never done anything like that before. Oh my god. I'll have to go back and rewatch that moment. Yeah, she wants to be a part of stream apparently. She never is. She wants to today. And I see another Burb fam friend in the chat. Boobs dance, boobs dance, boobs dance. Let me try and still. I'm still trying to like bring my heart rate down from that moment. I scare pretty easily. My classroom is connected to the other art teacher's classroom by a closet slash kiln room. So this room is like in between our walls are shared, and then there's this room with a door. Oops, sorry, with like a door that goes through them. And multiple times he has like come into the classroom and not made any noise and like scared me, either like I'm at the computer or I'm doing something somewhere else in the room and he just like sneaks in. And so now, excessively so, he comes in every time and he shakes his keys whenever he's like walking through the doors to let me know that he's coming. Um or like sometimes I'll be working on something or I'm doing something, cleaning something, whatever, and a student will come and they'll be like just outside of my peripheral and they won't say anything. They'll just like stand there and like wait for me to turn. So of course when I do, I'm like, what the, like what the hell are you doing? Like you scared me. Um like all the time. I just like would not do very well in a horror movie, I guess. Yeah, it's I like that our rooms are connected because it's like it's easy access if either of us like need something from the other, but it can be really annoying sometimes because for no reason whatsoever, he will use my main classroom door to get to his classroom. Sometimes he'll like stop in to like be like, "Hey, I have a question or I need something." Like he'll like in the main hallway. But there have been many times where I'm like sitting at my computer typing something and he'll just like unlock the door, walk through my classroom and be like, "Hey, good morning," and then go to his room and I'm like, "Your door is 30 feet down the hallway. Why are you using my door?" Did you come to apologize? Hmm? For scaring your mommy? Yeah, it is so weird. There's like no reason for it. Like sometimes like I'm fine with like I mean it's not that big of a deal. Like, if you have a question, come in, but it's just like it's just weird that he does that. Like with no purpose. Ooh, AirPods falling out. Y'all, I'm so excited to go to Universal next week. Oh, it's so great. My best friend is coming to meet us there. We got him a ticket. It's so great because teachers get to like we get fast passes. The kids don't. The kids have to stand and wait in those 2 hour lines, and we just get right on the ride. We get free food. Oh, it's so great. And last year, so last year, um, my friend Michelle um, who teaches theater at my school. So we're both freshman class sponsors this year. She was senior sponsor last year, and it came back around. But we were like, we have to like prep for the Men in Black ride, which is like one of those shooter games. We were like, we have to figure out how to like max out our points on this ride to like beat everyone else who's in the car with us. So we watched like a bunch of videos to figure out like the hot spots to like beat the game. So we get on the ride, and so it's me and her in the front, and then my best friend, and then this other teacher, our ASL teacher, who's behind us. And so we're shooting, and we are like racking up points. We are destroying this game, but nobody's looking at anybody else's points really. So we get to the end, and my friend is like, all right, yeah, I got 21,000 points. How do you guys do, losers? And then he sees our screens, and we had like 200,000 points. And he's like, what? Sorry, I just blasted out the speaker, I'm sure. He's like, how is that even, like, it completely blew his mind. And we were like, oh, we're just like super cracked at this game. Like, we're just really good at Men in Black. And he was like, no, we are doing that another time. That is so not fair. Um, and so I felt so bad that when we were like getting in line to ride it again, I was like, okay, like I have a secret to tell you. Like we studied for this. Like we put in the work, and I started telling him all of the like spots that you can really rack up points with. But he like immediately forgot all of them. So we did it again, and I got like 150,000 points, and he again had like maybe 30,000 points. Um, so I'm really looking forward to that. He's got a pretty good memory, so I'm sure he will remember that I know where all the hot spots are. I'm curious to know if on his own he'll secretly do any practicing. Um, but the other girl, bless her heart, she she didn't have her glasses, so she couldn't even see. Even though we told her where all the spots to hit were, she was like, I can't see anyways. She's like, I'm just doing my best. Yeah, that's the hope, is that we just completely dominate again. Um, but I don't think there's anything new that has opened since last year. But I think there's a couple of things like, okay, so Velocicoaster, y'all, that is one of the best roller coasters I've ever ridden. It was so good. The first time I rode it, I forgot to take my glasses off, and so I was like holding on to them the whole time, and so I didn't get to like it was good, but I didn't get to like really fully focus on the ride. So thankfully, because we're teachers and we have the fast passes, we just got right back in line again, and within 10 minutes we were back on the ride. Um, so now I know. Now I know. Take my glasses off. So I did get to like do it proper, and it's so smooth, and it's so fast. Um, and then so I rode that for the first time last time I was there, and then I also got to ride Hagrid's motorbike adventure for the first time last year. And so I was in like the motorcycle seats, and my friend was in the sidecar. And I was like, okay, yeah, like it's fun, it's fast, da 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 da. Um, and but then there's like the point where it drops, and you don't know that it's gonna happen if it's your first time. And I was like, whoa, totally mind blown by that. It was either fast passes or living wage, and guess what teacher shows? Yeah, it's the only reason why I stay a teacher. It's for, the occasional discount at a store, and grad bash fast passes, the free SeaWorld tickets. That's what we do. Um, so yeah, Hagrid's motorbike adventure, excellent. Um, we weren't supposed to be able to fast pass that one. It literally says, excuse me, it literally like says in like the list of grad bash expectations that it's like, teachers can fast pass all lines except for like these two rides. And Hagrid's was on it. And so we were like, oh, that sucks. But then we walked up to the ride and there was like an employee there and she was like, yeah, come on through. And we were like, okay, like, I'm not gonna say no.
Hey, listen!
Helm, welcome in. Thank you for following. We're drawing some birds. Well, one bird. We're drawing a bird and talking about Universal. Do you like roller coasters? Because I do. I will ride like any roller coaster except for wooden roller coasters. I don't like the really loud like clack 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 sound. Like it just hurts my ears and I don't like they just don't feel right to me. Like I don't like wooden roller coasters, but I'll ride basically any other coaster. Like you see those videos of like all over the world of just like some of the most craziest roller coasters. I'm like, yes, right now, fly me there. I'll do it. I need like an orange that's darker than that, but I don't really exist. I know that Tron is finally opening at Disney. Um, a friend of mine is a pass holder and she lives like an hour away from Orlando. So she's like at Disney every other weekend. Um, and so she got to do like a pass holder early access ride of it. She did it during the daytime. She said she'd like to try it again when it's at night because it lights up. But she liked it. She said it was really good. I unfortunately am no longer a Disney pass holder, so I don't know when my next time to get to go will be. Unfortunately, rip. Um, but I'd like to definitely ride that, and I want to ride the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride. I hear that's amazing too. But who knows when I'll get to go again. Again, I'm really surprised that you haven't guessed it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Your guess is wrong. I think you know that. Um, yeah, hopefully soon. I live about 2 hours ish away from Disney, which isn't a lot, but it's enough to be like too much after like a long day spent at the park. Like 2 hours kind of sucks. Like an hour, which is what my friend has, isn't too bad, but and it's so expensive. Like my gosh, the price of tickets are ridiculous. Yeah, it's see they used to have this like Florida resident annual pass, which was slightly less expensive. I mean, still like ridiculous for what it is, but it was nice to at least have it slightly less. They don't offer the Florida pass anymore. They just have like the regular ones. And it is basically like another mortgage payment. And that is something that I simply cannot justify having right now. Oh no, oh, 2020. I know. I think that was when we canceled it because like I had gone to the Epcot Festival of the Arts. I think I went in February and then, everything shut down in March and I was up for renewal in May. Um and I just we just let it expire. Like it was myself and my parents, we all had passes. So we just let them expire because we were like, who knows what this COVID situation is going to be. They were not offering any sort of like pause on payments or anything like that I remember. I'm pretty sure we were still paying. Um, so I haven't been since February 2020. Yeah, 2002 prices compared to 2023 prices. Yeah. One of my favorite websites is the inflation calculator. So lately, I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld, and they talk about money a lot in the show, especially like rent prices and things like that. So I really am enjoying pulling up the inflation calculator anytime they mention anything because the show is like early 90s. And so there was like this episode where Elaine wanted to get this apartment that was right above Jerry's apartment. But in order to secure it, she needed to like pay someone $5,000. And she didn't have that kind of money. So she got Jerry to loan her $5,000. I'm like, well, what is $5,000 today? So $5,000 today is like $12,000. So, like, imagine giving your friend $12,000 so that they can rent an apartment above you. Um, there was something else, like other things that are like really funny that they just like talk about the price of, and I'm just like, wow, like 1992 versus 2023 is insane. Yeah, it really helps like put things into perspective, and so I like it also. Like when I would watch Downton Abbey and they would talk about prices of things, like I would do the inflation calculator for that, or just any like any sort of like period show or anything like that. The inflation calculator goes from 1912, I think, on. Um, so I always think it's really fun to do that. Yeah, like imagine, because she was like, I'll pay you back, all that stuff. But I was still like, I can't even imagine right now giving a friend $5,000. And that's, in today's money, 12K. I don't, yeah, that's ridiculous. But it's funny, I really like watching it now as an adult. That like was my mom's favorite show when I was a kid growing up, and so we would watch it every night. Like it was on as like syndicated reruns, and so during dinner we would watch that, and we would watch Friends and all these like Queens and these kind of shows and stuff like that. So it's definitely like part of who I am. But I was a kid watching it growing up, and so now it's really interesting watching it when I'm in the same age group as like the Seinfeld crew. And I said that to my mom, and she was like, "No, you're not. They're way older than you." And I'm like, I watched an episode last night where George says that he's 33 years old. I'm in that age bracket. So it's really fascinating to kind of have them have such similar like problems and concerns that I'm having now, 30 years later. Um, yeah, the Great Gatsby, great example of being able to use that. It really kind of hurts my soul when George said that he was 33 years old. I'm like, oh no. Um, but them like trying to find jobs, and like apartments and paying for things and dating, and it's really funny to me that they like live in New York City and like all the potential people, and they just go out with some of the worst people, or they just can't make it work, and it's really funny to watch because it kind of makes me think like, oh well, maybe like dating isn't just a weird thing now, it's just always been weird. First time seeing you live. Welcome. Howdy. Drawing a bird. Just a pretty regular occurrence on here. I haven't streamed in about 3 weeks because, you know, everything gets in the way. But I'm happy to be on tonight. I'm just going to finish this bird and then call it a night. I do have work tomorrow. Oh my God. So, Tuesday, I use like the alarms on my phone, and every night before I go to bed, I check and make sure that they are on, that they are active, and that they are the correct times and everything. And I did. Monday night, I did it because I do it every single night. Tuesday, they didn't go off. They didn't go off because I would have woken up at some point. They didn't go off. And so I'm supposed to clock in to work at 7:35 a.m. Now, granted, I'm usually 10 to 15 minutes late. Which is fine. It's fine. No one said anything to me yet. I'm usually 10 to 15 minutes late. But I would normally arrive around 7:50. I woke up and the clock said 7:44. And I'm like, "Oh my." I actually like stared at the phone, looking at the time that said 7:44, and I remember staring at it and going, because one of my alarms goes off at 6:45. So I was looking at it and I was like, what time? I was like trying to process whether I was late or early. Like the numbers weren't working in my brain. So, but then once I did finally process that, like, I should be at work now, I was like, oh my God. And so I like jumped up, got dressed as quick as I could. I was like putting on makeup while brushing my teeth and like running around the house. I somehow got ready within 10 minutes. Did I look great? No. But I like got ready and I just ran out the door. Of course, I caught like as many like red lights as I possibly could. I had to have my friend let me in a side door so that I wouldn't be running past the administrators when I was as late as I was. And I had to clock in from my computer. But I'm like running into the school. And I got there like 5 minutes before kids were supposed to come into my classroom, and I had to like set stuff up and prep stuff. And I was just like not in the right like mode. And then like some kids were like asking me questions and I was like, like I don't know. Like I'm like very frazzled right now, and I don't handle being frazzled very well, and when I am frazzled it sometimes seems like I'm being rude, and I'm like, no, I just like I am like, my brain is shut down and I can't handle anything right now. So if I'm like mean to you, don't take it personally. Um, this is just how I like, like, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just like, I'm just freaking out right now. But everything was fine. Everything got set up. We were all good. Um, yeah, I like didn't have a minute to like process and like think about what I needed to do for the day. I usually have like 15 minutes in the morning that I can like get the things ready that I need to get ready, and I didn't have that. Um and so I was like, it was just one of those like, don't talk to me or else I'm going to forget everything that I need to do kind of situation. Um and also like multiple people are all asking me the same question and I've already answered it. And so it's just like it like touches a nerve. Or like the question they're asking me is like posted on the board or something like that. It's just like these are unnecessary things right now. Um yeah, I totally feel bad. Like if it's something in the morning, I'm gonna be late. Um if it's something in the afternoon, I'm usually early for that. Like I can be like I'm like a very like timely person in the afternoon. I'm not a morning person though. So I immediately, as like a fail safe, um I have ordered an alarm clock. It's going to be delivered tomorrow, and I'm going to like put it on the other side of the room so that I have to like physically get up and turn it off. This is only the second time this has happened, and I still made it to work like before students. My friend, at least once a year, he has a day where he sleeps through his alarms and there's like administrators panically calling him being like, where are you, because there's kids at his door and he's still at home. At least that hasn't happened to me. Yeah, I just don't really care for alarm clocks because I don't like light in the room at night when I sleep. I just like it to be complete darkness. So even like the very dim light of like the digital numbers would bother me. So this one I bought it's like dimmable. So I'm gonna like turn it down as low as it can possibly go. I'm hoping that will help. Um, yeah. Yeah, I think like a good wake up time for me would be like 8 or 9 p.m. I think is a pretty good, like 9 would be a really nice wake up time. Like I think if I were able to be a full-time artist and set my own hours, I think I would set 9 a.m. as my wake up time. Um I think that's probably how I would go about doing it. You know, this yeah. But I'll tell you what I am on time for early in the mornings, and I joke about this every time. Whenever I have a like a birding trip, it's always at like 7 or 8 in the morning. And I'll show up right on time. Like I'll be there right at the beginning of it, and I'll be like, you know what? I may not be on time for work, but I am on time for birds. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put the clock on the other side of the room. So to turn it off, I have to get up. Once I'm up and once I'm standing, I'm good. I'm not gonna go back to bed. So I think that that's gonna be. I'm gonna bring a little table in and put the clock there. Yeah. Okay. So talking about being jump scared. Yes, I absolutely like. There are days when my alarm goes. I'm in like such a deep mode of sleep that when my alarm goes off, like my heart rate just shoots up and I'm like, what is that? No, like I don't process that it's an alarm going off. Like it's just like a very sudden, unexpected, loud noise. And I'm like, oh, what is that? And like I have to like settle my heart rate. Yeah, I'm definitely that kind of person too. But like if it's too soft and sweet, I won't wake up. I used to use an app. It was called Alarmy. Check this check this app out. It's free. It has ads though. But it has a bunch of different options for how to turn off an alarm. So one of them is like solve a math problem. Another one is like types an answer to a question or something like that. But one of them is you have to like you set a base photograph. So you take a photograph of something and you want it to be something that never ever ever changes. So for me, I always pick like the light switch of my bathroom. So you set that base photo, and then so to turn off the alarm, you have to like take a photograph of that exact same spot. And so it shows you like a low opacity version of the original photograph. And so you have to like try and line up the camera with it to turn it off. And its snooze only lasts for like a minute. So normal snoozes are 9 minutes. So this is 1 minute. So if you like press snooze, it's going off again in 1 minute and it will not stop going. The only way to turn it off is to like do the task. And so like I'm the kind of person that like I said, like I know that once I stand up, I'm up. I'm sorry. Once I stand up, I'm up. I know I'm not going to go back to bed. So I knew like I would have to do like the math problem didn't work for me. I could do it in bed and then put the phone back down. So I would like have to stand up and do it. So that was a really cool app. I used that for like 3 years until I decided I didn't want to use it anymore. Um, Classic music, and it started off soft and slowly got louder, so it wakes you up. That is kind of nice. Um, yeah, so that one, it's the same as like other like alarms where you can tell it like if you want it to be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or any other thing. The thing with Alarmy is you have to have it open at least in the background for it to work. So if you like force close the app, it won't work. So I always had to make sure that the app was at least open before I went to bed. Um yeah, old school alarm clocks totally work. Um I don't want to do that because I hate the sound of ticking clocks. It really really irritates me, so I don't keep analog clocks around because I just hate the sound of them. But that'll definitely give you a nice jolt in the morning. There's one I've seen where it has wheels, and it'll like roll off your nightstand and then like roll under the bed and like drive around until you like catch it to turn it off. I've seen alarm. I've done a lot of research into this. I've seen alarms. It's like attached to like a mat, like a little mini rug, and so you have to like stand on it, like apply the full body weight pressure to turn it off. Um, which I thought was an interesting one, and I looked into that one, but decided ultimately like it was a little bit too much. Um, yeah, it's like a little like alarm clock Roomba. Get a rooster. God, I went to Miami a few months ago for Art Basel, and I got an Airbnb, and someone in the neighborhood had chickens and roosters, and this rooster would go off at like 3 a.m. and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. It was awful. Also, yeah, it was Art Basel. I drove down Thursday night. So I stayed Thursday night, Friday night. I think I stayed Saturday night and came home Sunday. But Friday night, I think the next door neighbors threw this house party. Um and it was like, God, the music was so loud and they were like yelling and screaming, and I was just like, and I'd also like I'd gone out to dinner with friends and we drank and I ate so much, and so when I came back to the Airbnb, I had just the worst stomach ache because I just ate so much. And I also like I don't really like drinking. It never makes me feel good, but I was just like peer pressured into drinking. Um and so I like had a headache. I just didn't feel good. And like all I wanted to do was sleep, but I just like my body hurt, my head hurt, my tummy hurt, and they're in this house party next door, and I was like, I just want to sleep. Like it was awful. I hated it.